the only benefit for them is that they're playing against Nyx and Kickit's not come over yet. But to be honest, in the short term, it's probably better for them that they're playing against, or they're playing with Nyx, because Kickit wouldn't have any practice. But it is that map pick of Train. 2-game are starting up on the T side. They're kind of the Cinderella run of the second ECL South America Cup, and unfortunately they are being rolled and smoked. Oh my god, we said, can he perform? Can he do it over in South America up against pretty decent opposition? I think he's answered, and quite vigorously as well.
Well, you know the old adage, 2 guns are better than 1, and he will pick up 4 kills, 2 kills per gun, in fact. Yeah, a little bit nasty, the sniping that's going on with the dualies there, but there you go. That's going to be MIBR walking away with the first round, and of course no bomb planted. Means that 2-game are certainly in a far more difficult scenario than what they would have liked. I mean, the first kill comes through before the flash, the exec flash even pops. That's the really scary part.
It's like, I'd love to sit there and try and like microanalyze what happened, but dude just hit like 4 basically 1-taps with the dual Berettas. What can you do?
You take your medicine and you go next.
Yeah, that's this is a really interesting old kind of just time for MIBR, because Nyx, who's playing right now, but this is his last dance, by the way. So for maybe people who don't know 100%, this is his final tournament before Kicker, the Kazakhstani IGL, but then not IGLing this roster, but then like wasn't always an IGL. Either way, he's a major winner.
Yeah.
But he has, like, he was IGLing on Paravision and then got kicked, or benched rather. I don't know what his role is going to be coming here, but Nyx, who had struggled to adapt competitively, especially internationally, with a 0.79 HLTV rating across the 3 international tournaments they played with him, so Fisher Playground 1, IM Cologne, and Blast Bounty Season 2, where MIBR also equally really struggled. This is a common trend with just MIBR have struggled. So Safe and Nyx have been removed, and they've got this like crazy now lineup of Kika and Klim. I don't know how it's going to work, but currently Klim's already shooting very well.
Okay, I mean, you can always make the argument about language barriers and the like, but at the end of the day, if you're hitting your shots and everybody's dead, what's left to communicate?
International language.
There you go, death. See how far that can take them, though. So far, so good. 2-game now at least have something to fight back with. Some really good CT side utility here to just slow things down massively. So 2-game have to kind of hit the brakes a little bit. Not that they were going particularly fast to begin with, but this does just, of course, force them to have to wait that little bit longer. And of course, they're very limited on utility as well, which makes it that much more difficult to mount an exec here. 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and that's all that they're going to have. Now Lucas is in position. Smoke's going to come through. That position is going to be known. Spams through the smoke, nothing quite connecting, but Lucas has got himself a fairly decent position here. Can potentially set up a crossfire. Okay, a little bit late on the swing there, but does get the trade. That's the important part. Nyx, absolute demon. All right. Swings out through the smokes, followed by Exeter, and well, there you go. MIBR only losing 2 in that round. That's a fairly clean third.
Yeah, actually really clean considering that it was an opening kill, right? Like Bernazin dies, it's a really good opening kill by Hardzal, and then it all falls apart where MIBR just kind of get a killer piece, and then Pikia, one of the older dogs, left by himself. So unfortunately for 2-game, it's actually a very difficult start to their map pick. It is Train T side anyways. But we didn't actually speak much about 2-game because, yeah, they're the Cinderellas of ECL Season 2. And they've got a really intriguing roster because you've got PKL and Hardzal who have played majors together on Pain Gaming. PKL's career, you know, stretches so far back. Both of them does, to be honest. But then you've got Exubia, Detroit, and Lucas, who actually, all things considered, are very new players. So you've got PKL leading the charge with his old buddy Hardsdale. They used to play at the top of the world, and now they've kind of taken a step back. They've got this younger project. They have won an online event. They won the first series of CCT Season 3. I will say there's a big asterisk over the fact there was a lot of not many of the big teams are present. Did beat Bestia in the finals though, so you got to give them that. And you could really see how like some of the individuals, those younger guys, were performing. So it's a cool roster. You can see how it will work, a mix of young and old blood. And to be honest, this placing is probably their like theoretically the best they've ever placed. Issue is they're up against Klim.
Bro's at 10 kills by round 4. What do you say about that aside?
Two 4Ks.
Literally, like, there's not much to say about that except, you know, Bro can shoot. He's having a really good game. And we're only 4 rounds in. That's a terrifying prospect. Brendan is sitting on 0 at the moment because he hasn't had a chance to see an enemy. It's just been a bit of a one-sided affair now. Orp is out as well, and that's going to make Klim that little bit more absolutely terrifying. So how did 2Game respond? A much more robust spend into this round, so far more to play with. But a lot of ground to try and cover.
First gun round with Klim having the AWP out as well, right? He's over towards actually holding Ivy. To be honest, if there's one thing that is going to be sure for Klim, is that like if you give him the opportunity, he will shoot hard. That's like the one thing that you can guarantee when you pick up a 19-year-old Russian kid who played for G2 Academy and had like a 1.50 rating in some tournaments. Like if there's one thing you can do is shoot. So it's just more about almost like the depth of his game, right? And as this round gets later, maybe actually we're going to pay attention to the depth of 2Game, because they, in their default, have not really forced out all the utility they would have wanted to, and have no map control.
Yeah, we've taken so much time here. We're down to 30 seconds, and exec's going to have to happen. So they're going to start making their way down Ivy. Here's the problem. Klim has been all over the map and has decided to settle in Ivy. And well, there you have it. The first kill to connect. Second player slips past, but he'll hit the third. Has the information that PKL is there, and he's just going to go ahead and get him as well. And that is the entirety of the exec, completely hobbled. Uncharacteristic miss, considering how this game has started. And now Lucas is going to try desperately to try and bring it back into a contestable scenario. But Klim, who had picked up an AK, will go and get his third 4K of the map.
I actually just want to pay attention to that positioning from him as well. Like, that was actually such a nice off angle, because you can see the utility that was thrown, and the flashes really, like, they don't hit him. This is a very almost like exposed position. Obviously he can tuck, but it's like you can't move. You get the kill and you just have to fight. And well, he leaves no one behind. He leaves no prisoners. And he's 14-0. Obviously 2Game isn't the hardest opponents, but Exubia's been playing really well this tournament. Hardzal, despite maybe his tenure, is still hitting very hard and was playing superbly in that CCT event they won. And look, PKL's a very experienced leader and a very experienced player, but what can you do when Klim is just dropping a bomb on you? And it's 5-0 in kind of the blink of an eye.
He has more kills than the entirety of 2Game. He has equal to the entirety of 2Game doubled.
Ooh. Ooh.
He has more kills than the rest of his team combined. Like, it's just... It's a little bit unreal. Alright, well, here we go. Round number 6. Couple of hero rifles to try and... Oh my god, Zeriba. Oh my lord. Just runs through the fire and the flames. Dragon Force singing his anthem. But unfortunately, couldn't get anything off the back of that. It's a good reference.
That was good.
I was proud of that one. Thank
That was very good, actually.
you. Do you know, I think of them every time I say Through the Fire and Flames, and it's the first time I thought of actually mentioning it.
It actually worked
like
in.
7 years.
That honestly slotted in like perfectly. That was actually a pretty dope call out.
Thank you.
Do you know what else is really dope?
Clem?
It's just like unfair. Like, what was also great about last round actually is I'm pretty sure he sat in that very spot for like a minute and 10 seconds. Like
Patience.
he just sat there and was just like, they're gonna come to me eventually. This round he wasn't even needed that much, but you know, in classic fashion, he's like, I'm still gonna get a kill though. He's almost got max money. It's round 7, and I picked him as a player to watch under the understanding that, okay, pretty much I assume every casting duo probably has, because it's like where the main narrative is. But I was like, I also believe he's going to do pretty well. And I didn't expect this though. This is beyond my imagination.
Well, we do love it when players prove us right. It is one of the pleasures of being a caster. Clem, come on.
Wait, it has been heard though.
Oh my god, dude. And Detroit was like trying to set up for it, and unfortunately on the peak just gets shut down. Exeter's gonna get one as well. Lucas has been chunked down to an literally one. You know when all your teammates say literally one and it's a lie? This time it's the truth.
Actually is. Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, it's hard to completely gauge sound cues when you're watching one and you know, you're not actually in the server. But Exubia, I would have assumed heard that scope. So, and that's why you actually do see, and he's probably commed over as well to his team. He's probably come to Detroit being like, yo, I'm not holding aggressive Ivy, they can peek you. And it's just like, what can you really do, to be honest? Like for 2 game, I actually don't even know how you get into a round like this. You have no utility. You've got a combination of 7 kills combined 3 players in round 7. Like it's not exactly like you can, you know, hope that Klim gets a double entry for you or whatever. A save isn't even out of the question, and I genuinely think they are just saving, and that really is a testament to just how difficult this has been.
Trying to find some sort of like silver lining, sign of life here. Oh man, and they're gonna try to hunt this one. Okay. Try and do some damage. Not that it matters. At that point, it's less about damage and it's more about just making sure that you can survive into the next round. So, 3 guns remain, including that AWP. Maybe they'll have a better opportunity to get something done with it this time around. And I think the really scary part is how dynamic Klim is being as well. Like, it's not just the off angles, but it's also the fact that he takes such an aggressive position into Ivy, gets the shot, and then is still able to back away with Exeter holding his escape. So the moment somebody tries to follow up on that, they're like, oh, you know, Orpa, vulnerable, run him down. Nope. Straight into the waiting arms. And, well, gets deleted.
You know what? I might
timeout there.
I might give general managing a go and just get a team, go on HLTV, search by stats, be like, okay, is he from Eastern Europe? Yes. Has he got over a 1.40 rating on HLTV? Yes. Sign him. It's worked in Brazil twice now.
I mean, do you know what? I think it would work a lot better than ChatGPT, but what do I know?
I am not allowed to comment on that. Don't bring up this conversation.
Fair enough.
Free my boy Luve.
Okay, so Detroit's already been chunked down quite a bit. But at least this time he hasn't been instantly deleted right off the bat. Again, just so dynamic, man. Constantly changing up their holds. And I think a lot of that just comes with a confidence. Like, you know what? We can do whatever the hell we want at this point. 7-0 up. We haven't had a single bomb plant. I've just realized that. That's how dominant this has been.
Sam, we've barely had any kills, let alone any bomb plants. We should probably start simple first. Like, can we maybe get, like, I don't know, like a 1v1 going, like maybe an entry. Like, let's baby steps, okay? Also, very lucky that they got an opening kill. Very lucky they actually got onto that site scot through, because they have no util. Like, that flash blinding Klim was everything, and it's actually happening. Exubia, who's having this phenomenal tournament, he's on like a 1.50 HLTV rating across the games they've played, had 0 kills coming into this round. But now he gets a double opener, and oh my god, 2 game are on the board.
Okay, it finally happened. It's all about where that utility lands. I don't think there's a world in which they knew that that was where Klim was going to be. I think the stars maybe just kind of aligned for them. And I think... I hate to call one player a win condition, but Klim has not died. We are 8 rounds in, and he does not have a single death. It's just a little bit unreasonable. So finding a way to find him, isolate him out, flush him out of position, maybe that's part of the key here. You know, along with openers. I mean, and you asked for one, and they did in fact get one. So
yeah,
we just needed to ask nicely. Opener and a bomb plant and a round on top of that.
I mean, put some respect on Insani's name. That guy's a goat. Ooh, that's a lot of nade damage. Lucas just runs into the HE, and it's actually going to be aggression over towards B, getting ahead of this Molotov. PKL peeked from multiple directions. He's able to, be fair to him, get a kill, but Insani, just talking about him there, gets 2. So it's a 3 versus 3, and Exubia's been spotted in the back lanes. Needs to be dealt with, and he's actually been completely left past, where Bernison has full control of B brown doors. This is a very weird and awkward round, because just look at where everyone is on the minimap. No one is even remotely together from both sides, and this actually is just going to be worst case scenario though for the T side specifically, as they can't join up. They tried to, it all goes terribly wrong, and now Detroit in a 1 versus 3 gets Klim's first death.
At last, bro. I was starting to think he was a little bit immortal in this one, but there you go. However, there's still a lot more to be done. There's 30 seconds left, but he's only got 1 flash. Maybe he can at least get a bomb plant. That would be quite nice. Get that little bit of extra cash. He's got the time to do it. All right, so where do we hold? The last 2 players, because of how crazy the end of, or the tail end of that got, everyone is very split from each other, as you mentioned. So the last 2 have to find a way to maybe meet up with one another. They've cleared out one of the angles, so they know that he can't be there. They've still got a bit of utility. They can smoke the bomb off, and that's going to make it very difficult for an AWPer to try and hold on out with the... Oh, that HE was just so unfair. Knife out, getting ready to slash and slice and dice through, but the HE reveals him. Unlucky.
What a phenomenal read to drop the smoking con, and then also to nade into that smoke. Two game, they got a round on the board. It felt like they were maybe able to double down. Klim, the beast, the Kraken has fallen. But unfortunately, even though he has some impact, it's actually more down to the riflers in this round. It just shows the depth of MIBR. So for 2 game, I don't know, maybe they try to go for 3 rounds. 4 still possible. They have a full purchase.
Managed to bait out a decent bit of util here. Ooh. Shots baited out. So we know there's some presence. Two games still have more than enough to carve out an entry for themselves. Look where the bomb is still at the moment, right? Nothing has been decided. We're still heavily in more of like a defaulty position. The problem with this is that with no real ground garnered, it's going to be very difficult to actually get that exec going properly. We're down to the 40-second mark, and it looks like we are going to be grouping up for a B hit. Klim once again dodging a nade, or a flash rather. Oh, perfection. And that's the Ivy player done and dusted. The lurk is shut down. Nothing on A, a little bit on B, and they're realizing, all right, we need to reposition. They already have that numbers advantage, spotting out one up above, but the bomb does get planted. Nothing to deter that from happening. MIBR are going to have to use their numbers advantage here if they can. Utility low, but that's okay. They've given themselves a lot more room to breathe. Zerba goes down. Luke is on the edge of the smoke, good for one, but will get traded out. And the last couple of pieces fall to the wayside. A bomb plant, yes, but a defuse to follow, and a 9th round for MIBR.
Counter-terrorists win.
Also, yeah, just a much better B retake, as last time the bomb got planted over on this bomb site, that was actually where 2Game found their round. So they're probably thinking, okay, we head over back towards B, and that's where we can find success. But it's a super clean retake, despite 2Game having very advanced positions. Bomb down for the D side just means they're going to continuously buy back in. Probably going to be buying every single round for the rest of this half now, as MIBR making a quick run of things on their opponent's map pick, which, sure, the train pick is very interesting. Issue is MIBR's insta-ban is Dust 2, and that's 2Game's best map. It's been the map they've mostly utilized so far in this playoffs run, and they'd have to dig deep and go for something else. Mirage, I would have thought, could have been a decent map for them to pick into, but they try to gamble it, try to get a punish pick potentially, and if anything, they're being punished.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was angling towards when we first saw it. It just felt like maybe there was a bit of an overconfidence in the map.
Yeah.
Overconfident coming up against MIBR, like...
It was kind of like,
too much faith.
Where is there actually to pick into? And then also, the issue being, does it actually matter what map it is? That's kind of another little kettle of fish.
You gotta start to wonder if it wouldn't have been better to have gone to an Inferno or a Mirage. And interestingly, MIBR got to ban both of those out. Obviously, Dust 2 getting banned in the first wave, and then, yeah, 2Game banning out Ancient. I guess that makes sense. Ban out Overpass. Maybe they're trying to let Mirage slide through. They could have picked into it. I don't know. It's a weird one.
Yeah, Mirage Inferno would have been... Sorry, yeah. Well, Mirage Dust 2, but then you don't have Dust 2, so it's kind of Mirage, but then I guess maybe didn't feel confident on Mirage against a team like MIBR, which is fair enough. I wouldn't want to play Klim on Mirage, to be honest, because if this is what he's doing on Train, God, good grief.
On any map.
He's 21-2 now, and anyone that just even remotely comes into his crosshair is smited. And amusingly enough, even though he's got a double in this round, it's still not over, and he probably actually has to do more heavy lifting.
Yeah, the fact that it's come down to a 2 versus 2, got to give some props here to 2Game for keeping this very tightly contested. The nice thing, I suppose, to an extent, is that with there being a little bit of time here, they can kind of hold a little bit longer, not get overly aggressive. Just wait to see what 2Game do. Nice swing from PKL. It's going to clear out that A side. Bomb plant to come through. Klim is going to try and retake this with an AWP. You know what? I shouldn't have doubted. Last player remaining here. Is he going to go for the no-scope? Oh my god, bro. What is that reaction time? That's actually inhuman. No human being can do that. The man is a robot.
Oh, it's just disgusting watching him play because he's simply just way too good. He's a walking highlight reel, and MIBR, they're just going to be walking onto this second half of an 11-1 lead.
I'll keep going till my feet calm below. I'll keep going till my feet calm below. I'll keep going till my feet calm below. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my feet calm. I'll keep going till my feet calm below. 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 Going till my feet calm below. I'll keep going till my feet calm below. I'll keep going till my feet calm below. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my feet calm. I'll keep going till my feet calm below. 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 I'll keep going till my feet calm below.
Alright, so I've taken a moment to recover from the inhuman reflexes that were put on display for us there. Klim now comes into the second half at 23-2. If this game was not on the precipice of closing out, I would be gobsmacked that he was at 23 kills in regulation. But, well, it doesn't look like he's going to have too many more rounds to make that an even more impressive number. This pistol round is, of course, going to be a marginally important one. It might give them something to work with, but it's going to take a lot more than just a pistol to get them back into fighting form, and unfortunately it doesn't even look like they're going to get that much. Super quick right off the bat, they've lost 2 players, make that 3, and have very little recourse now. This is going to be an easy entry. Bomb now kind of sitting in bottom of Ivy, making its way in towards the site. Hards out trying desperately to hold anchor. Zerober on the other side of the map. Bomb not even being planted. There we go. Waiting to see where this last player swings from. That first one is nice. Quite tasty. 1 versus 2 now. Manages to dodge the flash. Should have an inkling of where both of the players are, but time is certainly of the essence. No kit here, so if he is going to go for this, he's going to have to go. Oh, and they're just ducking and diving. They're playing that kids game where you chase each other around a table. He gets the first. Oh, it's labored, but happy feet prevail. MIBR up to 12 map point.
It's hard to sit here and be like, oh, but if they'd won the pistol round, because look, they're 11-1 down, and it's like Klim's still doing things like that. So it would have just only taken him a matter of time to like get a big round, and then boom, MIBR would be on 12. So like it was all kind of just a matter of time for him anyways. And it looks like they're going to be hoping to close out this game as soon as possible, not letting this be any doubts in anyone's mind. MIBR are the superior team through and through. 2 game have been trounced. They have been rolled over on their map pick, and this Cinderella glorious run of them in the ESL Challenger Season 50 South America Cup 2 in the upper bracket final might be coming to an end as they have just lost 13-1.
On what is their own map pick. Yes, it's a devastating way to kick off this game, but we had kind of mentioned the fact that they had come into the upper bracket having had a slightly easier run. You talk about the Cinderella, right? And part of the Cinderella story is the fairy godmother. And I think whoever waved their wand and gave them the bracket run that they had was certainly the fairy godmother. But it seems that the bell has struck midnight and that carriage is turning back into a pumpkin. One map left. I've gone to town with that metaphor.
That was phenomenal.
I will say I did rewatch Cinderella last weekend. I was fresh for the references.
Yeah. Do you know who might not be so fresh though? Early on, and that theme just continued. He had 3 4Ks within 6 rounds, I think. Which is just disgusting. And I severely expect now going on to Nuke, MIBR's map pick, that we're going to see something similar from him.
Well, MIBR, of course, could be kicking things off on the T side here. Not too sure how much of a hindrance that's actually going to be, considering their performance earlier, but we'll give 2Game the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps they can mount a little bit more of a solid defense this time around. Outside, more or less for free and for gratis. I have spotted out these players, though, getting up close and personal already. Got a couple of kills here from our CTs, though, so keeping it hotly contested, chipping away at the HP bars, but MIBR continuing to push and force their way through. Jeez. I mean, they're just chilling at this point and waiting for 2Game to run into them. Maybe it's a little bit of an overcommit from 2Game. But now Detroit has to somehow 1v2. No solid information on where these last players are. Has an inkling. Doesn't realize that Klim's behind him. Another multi-frag from the Russian star. And it's another pistol round for MIBR.
Dropping Klim the P250 must be one of the most sure done deals in Counter-Strike, especially in this matchup. I found it funny that when the game was ending, I go on HLTV and already on the forums, recent activities on the right, Klim to G2 question mark. So yes, he is that good, to be fair. And I really think MIBR have hit gold. They've stolen Furia's strategy and they have found a star of their own. So it's all about just acclimatizing him and making sure that the form he's showing right now is more consistent, especially when Nyx, this is his final tournament, looking to end it on a high night, a bit of a swan song for him before Kickit comes back, or not back, Kickit comes in for the first time, and bringing a major winner to your ranks will always only just upgrade you further.
Another round that's likely a foregone conclusion here. I'm looking forward to seeing how MIBR continue to grow after this, right? And I'm really I think that there's definitely a world in which it's just an MIBR Bestia final on Monday. And I think that's going to be a fantastic game to watch. Bearing in mind, we did mention the Bestia had won the first cup. So if they win the second cup, then there are fewer teams that go through to that regional final, which kind of lowers the chances for a lot of other teams. But of course, for MIBR, and this was kind of the conversation we were having during the cup number 1. I think we were talking about 9Z at the time, but just kind of saying that you want to take advantage of the fact that so many teams are busy with so many other tournaments. You want to try and get that win under your belt so you don't have to worry about it for any of the other cups. And so for MIBR, obviously didn't win the first one, clearly. But if they can snag the second one, then they don't have to worry about any subsequent cups and they can kind of focus their attentions on whatever else they want to as they prepare for that regional final. So to snag the win here would be a huge feather in their caps. Give them a lot of extra time to make preparations and to solidify any potential growing pains that might still exist. Although as things look right now, very few of those.
MIBR should be a sure-footed team to qualify for the major, and especially in maps like in games like this, getting those extra little VRS points is ever so important. This was against the gun round, by the way, and Exit just ran out A with a MAC-10, gets popped in, and 2 game get annihilated. It's an instant same for Lucas, and he's probably just seriously depressed right now, just thinking, is this what it's going to be like for the whole of Nuke?
Fortunately, it may just... Although... I don't want to draw too many parallels to Train, because obviously Train was a disaster.
But I will anyways.
Yeah, I will anyways. It was on one of the rounds kind of early, maybe not early, but it was on one of their gun rounds where they finally started to, I don't know, get the formula. The one round that they won was where they kind of, the stars aligned. They managed to get Klim off the board and get that opening kill. And they struggled to replicate that again in any other rounds. So unfortunately, it does feel like it's going to be more of the same. We've got to figure out where that kind of linchpin is. Although saying that, Insani is also having a really good start to this map as well. Klim's not quite having the same impact that he had at the start of Train. Not to say that he's having a bad start, but I guess for long story short, the win conditions on this map do seem to be a little bit more spread apart, maybe a little less straightforward. That may make things that little bit more difficult, but bearing in mind that it is 2 games CT side, so you want to be able to see them put up a little bit more of a fight.
Well, they do have a single save weapon on Lucas. He's going to get some contact early on. Hardzal's taken the contact. Insani gets the kill, and then Lucas trades. It's his first kill of the game, but unfortunately gets sent back with a grenade in the face. Eats that shrapnel for 48 HP, and MIBR 3-0 up. It's a 4 versus 4, but outside of Lucas, no one should really be that much of a worry.
Oh. Looks like Lucas may have disconnected, but we'll keep an eye on that for now. But yeah, another round for MIBR here. I don't think there's any way back into this for 2 game. Maybe a little bit of damage to be done. Maybe a weapon to be recovered if they're really lucky, but positions are a bit rough for that. I think the worst part is that you've got someone here waiting for players that are trying to find guns. And that's making it that little bit more difficult. I say that, we do manage to sneak up behind, and at least one gun can be kept into the next round if chosen instead. Oh, footsteps have been heard. Unfortunately, maybe a little bit too happy to charge downstairs. Next is just waiting. Oh, there it is. Yep, wasn't too much of a plan there, but unfortunately, whatever the plan was, it goes entirely awry. It's a 4th for MIBR, and yes, it does look like we've had a player drop from the server, so we'll try and get them back in as quickly as possible, but yeah, looking like more of the same on Nuke.
I mean, a player dropped out the server and they still made it somewhat contestable, especially on a half-by round. Like, there's positives to be taken out of that one, at least, for MIBR.
MIBR have a lot of positives. What do you mean?
Oh, sorry, for 2 game. Like, you know, there's
yeah,
some sort of just like... it wasn't completely awful. Like, there was at least some competition and some... At least you got kills, where I think the worrying statement was for 2 game on Train, the first 7 rounds, I'm pretty sure they had 6 or 7 kills, or the first 8 rounds.
yes.
Like,
yeah.
they just weren't even getting kills. So they were getting demolished scoreline-wise, but also... in every sense of the word. And even though they haven't started off Nuke well, getting those kills, making these rounds competitive, it could go a long way. But That's a lot of if, buts, and maybes.
Yeah, unfortunately, too many caveats and asterisks to try and keep track of. And I mean, we were seeing this with the ESL Impact as well, where you have these games that the score line is pretty one-sided, but the rounds are really close, coming down to like 1v2, 1v1, but still unable to like close it out. So as much as you can say that it's one of those shining, you know, silver lining type scenarios, realistically, the only thing that matters is putting rounds on the board. And as it stands, 2Game have only managed to put 1 round on the board in 18. Quick maths.
Quick maths. Never do maths on a broadcast unless you're a legend.
Hey, it's me. Apologies for this, folks. Well, hopefully won't take too much longer. Any other rising stars in the South American scene that you might want to maybe wax lyrical about?
Am I able to say Clem, or is that
I said any other
any
than
other?
Dr.
I don't know if we can even call them a South American talent. There's been one guy recently on Sharks who has really surprised me. I had the recency bias, obviously, to see. I was talking about Sharks winning that online event where they actually did very well, beating the likes. Well, they actually demolished 2Game. They slapped them silly. 2Game also, amusing enough, picked into train against them and also got 4 rounds. And Sharks picked Nuke and it was a little bit closer. But Sharks, not really a team that I think most people would have on their lips as this team top of the region. But they won the CCT, beating Odic and Bestia. 2 teams that are both vying for major qualification. The latter, Bestia, in a much better standing. Odic with a very low chance. But what I realized about Sharks was, I think actually the reason why I didn't really rate them that much was the AWPers they've always had have actually been not very good. And they've picked up this guy called MIBR from Argentina, which is always really cool to see Argentinian or like other regions from South America get represented in that highlight, because it tends to be majority just Brazilians, right? He was also very impressive as he comes from like, you know, a team that barely even qualified for the playoffs of CCT as a benchmarker, for instance. And he's really, really good results. Like his individual form and the way he supports his teammates is honestly crazy. He is definitely one of my next AWPers. And MIBR is certainly someone who, if there's anyone from the region that's impressed me recently that I wasn't really expecting, it's certainly MIBR from Sharks, the Argentine. And that was also why I was so surprised to see Sharks did so poorly this event. They got 9th 12 after losing to Shinden in their opening game.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. But I suppose these things do happen. Upsets occasionally crop up from time to time. I think we've had word that the player is getting back into games, so we shouldn't be too much longer, folks. So, oh, there we go. As I say it, manifesting realities. Alrighty, we'll dive straight back into this. And for anyone who maybe is just joining us, MIBR now setting 1-0. And of course, 4-0 up on map number 2. This is their map pick, so of course, we're expecting them to do well on it. But we've got an AWP in hand for Detroit. He's had a bit of a slow start to the map, but maybe this is where he'll start to garner some results. This is going to be an important gun round for them because, of course, money is on the line. And it's going to make things that little bit more difficult. Sure, you'll have that max last streak bonus. You'll still be able to eke something out. But to try and build up some sort of a buffer We're gonna try and get through this round as cleanly as possible and ideally win the whole damn thing. So much presence up top. They've rotated PKL over with those smokes coming down. A little bit of conditioning there. Now they have to split their forces a little bit more. Keep a wary eye on anyone potentially moving down towards Secret. As it stands though, still hovering very heavily over towards A. They should at least have an inkling that that is looking to be the play, and that's why we're not sending anybody down towards the B bomb site. Ooh, PKL getting a little bit cheeky, pushing into the smoke here. Flash will give him pause. Meanwhile... Oh, there we go. There's the AWP getting the results that we've been waiting for. We'll have some movement down towards Secret, the rest moving towards ramp, but Luke is ready and waiting. Spots out the first. Now a two-player advantage for 2Game, but Klim has activated. We'll trade one back. That's the ramp player shut down. So that's going to be the bomb being able to make its way down towards the B bomb site. Odds I'll just get absolutely deleted. Alrighty then. Bomb's going to get planted. And somehow we find ourselves in a 3 versus 3. And 2Game have to scramble to get themselves into a position to mount a retake.
They have kits. Not much utility though. 2 towards ramp. Detroit coming from Secret, and that's a phenomenal opening kill. The IGL leading by example. Klim though, he's still yet to die. 7-0, but Exit's decided, I've held Secret for long enough. Never mind, it swings back at the perfect timing, and 2Game are just being caught out in the open. Klim continuing his spree of desolation. It's simply just unfair to play against him right now.
That's really unfortunate because they get themselves numbers advantage. They get down to the bomb site. The bomb gets planted. Like,
do everything
kind
right.
of going their way. And then Klim exists.
To be fair, Exit probably actually opens up this round with that kill into hard sow, just activating at the perfect time. And what's worrying though in the grand scheme of things is that was a round for MIBR that did not go how they wanted it to, and yet they're still able to win.
Says a lot for the ability to stabilize and make these kind of split decisions. Late round calls certainly making a big impact here. And we spoke about the money and how important that round was going to be. And, well, unfortunately, they are going to go for a little bit of a broken one here. A little bit of a half spend. Okay, Mag 7, bro. I mean, we saw some nasty stuff with this yesterday. But I don't know if we're going to get to see that again. Bearing in mind that it was in Bestia's hands that we saw the most egregious shenanigans with it. So 2Game going to have fewer opportunities to get the same kind of value. Nice. Good shots from PKL. Give them a little bit of an opening here. Now, Prison has already kind of slipped the net. Have to be aware of that. Detroit up close and personal. Nice shot. Okay, free AK. A Molotov just to slow down any potential recourse. Oh, Hardzal, were you spotted? He wasn't. Oh, the timing on that. We do actually see that come to fruition. And somehow, this janky, broken pots and pans buy has left Klim in a 1 versus 5. We've seen 4Ks from him. We've yet to see an ace. And we've yet to see it when it's one man versus the world. So realistically, what is the play here? They've got a decent amount of money, so if he really wanted to go for this, he could. Save
his KD. That's the play.
True. Although his KD is imaginary at this point.
Yeah, unlucky, I guess. Welcome to Brazil.
Now he's got a 9.0 KD. Now he's happy.
Now he's got the KD. But he has fallen. You live to see yourself become the villain or die a hero.
Honestly, I think anybody holding the Mag 7 is the villain.
Is the main. I'm just disappointed in the fact that he's actually dropped it over. The AK has been brought out, picked it off Klim's dead body. 2-game, what a way to get on the board. Issue is, I've got a sneaky feeling that's going to be a occasion. I've got a sneaky feeling that a thing like that can continue to happen. And this T-side is not over just yet. But Exubia, he's really stepping up to the plate on this A-bomb site. And even though in San he got an opening kill outside, and even though MIBR then tried to activate through A, they actually completely fall apart. But this Exit and Klim duo have won a 2 versus 3 before, and now it's a 2 versus 3.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around how PKL just gets completely dumpstered with his eyes closed. Oh! Reaction times on these two. And the 2v3 becomes a 2v1. Hartzau, you know Klim is there. Can't afford to turn your back for too long. Gonna come right up close and personal with the raid boss. Klim up to 11. And, yeah, 2v3 goes their way.
2v4 as well. Because, yeah, well, like the 2v3 when we were looking at it, it was a 2v4 when they got the kill onto Detroit here. Yeah, Exit and Klim have won now a 2v3 and a 2v4, which is really, really impressive. This is just so unfair that 2-game do everything correctly. Like the A bomb site holds well. They get those kills. They give themselves the advantage. It should be round over. But instead, MIBR just have this insane firepower to bring them over any obstacle that comes in their way. And they go 6-1 up on their T side of Nuke, which you're already having the conversation of, well, they got 6 rounds on the T side. They're probably doing pretty fine.
Yeah, realistically, I think at this point, I don't think they were concerned to begin with, but now they're even less concerned than how we kicked off. We do just have another tech issue here, folks, so please do just bear with us. This does happen from time to time, unfortunately, particularly with the South American region. It can be a bit of a pain, but we power through. Hopefully it won't take terribly long. They've at least got money into this next round. Do we think that's going to make too much of a difference?
I mean, in theory, yeah.
Always in theory.
Yeah, like, you know, in theory, more money equals more problems. Sorry, my alter ego came out. More problems.
Lord.
But that's only was that yesterday? Or was that ESL? No, that was ESL Impact.
It was Impact, yeah.
Only the Impact people, only the real homies can know about that. Those who were there, you know, what happens in ESL Impact stays in ESL Impact. First rule.
Hashtag I was there.
Yeah, I got the Twitch moment, actually. ESL GG Twitch moment. Yeah, like, look, in theory, more money equals more guns, but when I look at this game, I don't really know how much it matters. Also, amusingly enough, that 2-game also won their first round while having a low purchase with Max 7, so maybe they should just play exclusively shotguns.
Oh god,
just have a bit of fun.
Love that.
Have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
She does love her shotguns.
She does. Nova fan gang. Can't relate, but there you have it.
What makes her happy in CS is so like blissfully simple. And I say that in like genuinely the most like, it's like so pure that like she just loves the like, there's things that I don't know, I guess maybe it's like I've become thwarted and hardened, and she's like it brings her so much joy, and I respect it. And I miss those times almost.
Yeah, we've lost our CS innocence, to be honest.
Yeah.
At that point now, we're the adults. She's still got that like childlike whimsy.
She is also the same age as me, but that's against the point.
I feel like you're an old soul, Freddie, to use a buzz phrase.
Which
Right.
almost feels like an insult. But it's obviously
we'll
I know it's
dissect that. We'll dissect that a little bit later on. We'll have a little
in
therapy
therapy.
session. In the meantime, it does look like this is going to be a bit more of an extended break, folks. So unfortunately, we're going to throw this to a break, and we'll be back as soon as things are sorted out. So hang tight and see you in a bit.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, how will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. natural sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it.
Right, apologies for that one, folks, but looks like we are ready to dive straight back into this. Power issues hopefully averted. For the rest, we'll hold fingers. But for now, MIBR looking to try and get themselves up to a 7th. Sure, I guess. Shot through the smoke. And you're to blame. He gives love a bad name.
Oh my god, these smoke kills and these smoke pushes are ridiculous for MIBR. The first one over towards ramp, they're a little bit over eager, but exit leads the way and Insani just finishes it all off. Exubia and Hardzao left in this 2 versus 4, trying to mimic potentially what Exit and Klim were able to do, where they got a 2v3 and a 2v4 in the space of 3 rounds. Issue is this CT side is very separated. They're playing quite possibly as far away from each other as possible. So Exubia should be isolated pretty easily. And okay, he even was holding for Insani in heaven, but Insani on 15 HP, first bullet accuracy. All he needs is that one.
Insani, more like insaney. Ooh. Oh, bait. That didn't quite land, luckily. Ooh, counter nade does, though. Ooh, and he loses his head. Unfortunate. That was looking reasonably good. Get the opening frag, but Insani just kind of swings right through a smoke and then continues to rain down terror. Did he end on 3 or 4 kills at the end of that round? I'm not 100% sure. That was the 3rd. No, okay, it was 3 kills. Yeah, just cracks things right open. Brings MIBR back into a not just contestable, but highly advantageous position and helps them to clutch out the round. And again, you know, we're talking about how close games, scoreline may not show the whole story, the rounds are getting close, but ultimately it's about actually winning the rounds. And unfortunately, as much as 2Game are keeping some of these rounds fairly close, it doesn't matter. We need to start getting a little bit more on the board. And part of me is thinking it might even just be to... Oh, what a nasty HE. That was beautifully done. That gives them that player advantage as well. And yeah, potentially too little too late now. Even if 2Game win the next 4 consecutive rounds, which does seem unlikely, it's still going to be incredibly difficult when we do swap sides. But they've given themselves that opening frag. Looking to try and make it a 2nd. Insani takes so much damage here. They've done well to actually stem the tide a little bit. But Insani has no fear. Give no quarter. Already... Okay. Caught out with his pants down, unfortunately. A 2nd kill for 2Game. And suddenly MIBR, with 3 players dangerously low on health, this round may just be at a complete loss. The bomb's moving down towards this B site, but Lucas is ready and waiting. Trying to spot out. And there you go. Door closed. So if they want to go down, it'll give the game away entirely.
They're just saving.
20 seconds left. I think they are just going to save.
Yeah, it doesn't even actually feel like that bad of an idea. Bernison will pick up 1 kill.
Counter-terrorists win.
At least on the exit. And 2Game, a very clean round, all things considered. Nyx, that's 2 rounds in a row that he's died first in the round over towards lobby. He's actually chilling 1-8. He's really struggling so far on Nuke. And
Ooh.
yeah,
Here we go again.
he actively isn't helping his case of being benched after only 2 months in the team. And he also had that really poor rating against international opponents. But you'd assume when he comes back home against these lesser South American teams, that's when he'd thrive. But no, still struggles. And the tech pauses, they never leave.
Honestly, it cannot be helping them. Every time I start to feel like maybe we can get something going, pause. Something happens. But winning that previous round is huge for them, particularly because the economy is now a little bit of a disaster area for MIBR, hence the need to go ahead and save. So we'll see how this pans out for the rest. Obviously, bearing in mind you only have a very limited amount of time for these technical issues. So hopefully we can get those sorted out as quickly as possible. I'd hate to see a kind of a rehashing of what we had in ESL Impact earlier this week, where one of the teams had to play 4v5 because their player couldn't get back in time, and that was quite devastating. So hopefully that can get sorted out as quickly as humanly possible.
It's just really rough for 2Game because they get around, potentially start to pick up a little bit of momentum, and then it all just comes straight back down. They're going to have to sit, so the round will just fade into isolation. And on the T side, every single time MIBR get around now, they're just expanding their chances of win percentage-wise. It's almost doubling every round extra they get. The benefit for 2Game, though, is because they've done so well this tournament and they're in the upper bracket final, they have a second chance if they do lose 0-2. They'll be playing up against Bestia in the consolidation final, same time tomorrow. See if they can maybe then get revenge for MIBR, who will be nestled into the grand finals, same time Monday. And for Bestia, both them and MIBR are on the hunt for the Starladder Major. Bestia, I think, are going to be guaranteed. They're like 50%, I saw the rankings, qualified through. A tournament win here and a good performance as an upcoming LAN, the Fergie Rush 2025. So that's got Imperial, MIBR, 9Z, Odic, Bestia, Sharks, who would be the main contenders for the teams that can qualify for the major. Oh, and Red Canids. 2Game's actually also going to be there. For Imperial, they should be qualified. MIBR should be qualified. So it's basically this kind of mad dash between 9Z, Odic, Bestia, Sharks, who are all within like 50 points of each other. And there's also the North American teams, Wildcard, Skinrave, and Marshborn, who kind of like fit into that. And then also Fluxo, who aren't at this LAN. So this South America's region is, or just I guess the Americas in general, from 1,100 VRS points to 1,000, there's like 8 teams, and they're all playing each other extraordinarily regularly on this lead up. So it's this really exciting, like every day it's changing. You know, Bestia were 10th, we're 9th the other day, and then there's more. And then what's also really worrying is that in ECL, so many teams in both America, North America and South America are just losing these crazy games that they shouldn't lose. And that's really actually upsetting the algorithms, which only benefits a team like Bestia and MIBR, who currently are finding their form.
The algorithms, TM. Yeah.
When I say algorithms, I'm just saying mischief. He is the walking algorithm.
We are just waiting for an update, folks, so please just bear with to the best of your ability. I know it can be a little bit frustrating, but obviously we want to make sure our competitors have all the possibilities to, you know, keep that run going. As Freddie was just mentioning, right? Like, there's a lot of competition for those top spots, trying to snag themselves invites to some of the bigger tournaments. And obviously, if you can't compete at your best for whatever reason, be it power or whatever else the case, it does mean that you have far fewer opportunities for that. So, looks like we've got Lucas back in the I nearly said the system. I suppose that's somewhat true. Back on the server. And there does actually appear to be just enough money here for MIBR with that save to get a pretty robust buy going. So they could actually very quickly turn this straight back into their own favor. This just highlights the importance of a tactical pause. Not a pause, a save. Because too often we see teams that just, you know, they have a crazy runaway lead and they're like, oh, well, you know, whatever, it's fine. We'll just, you know, doesn't matter if we all die here. We won't have money, but we've got a crazy lead, so whatever. But the better teams obviously realize, why would you give that away unnecessarily?
And we're live.
All right.
Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. Party in the streets. Let the whole world hear.
Streets.
Because ECL's... it's best time to be alive. Because ECL Season 50 South America Cup 2 upper bracket final is live and ready to go. Big nade to kick things off on Insani and Klim. But 2Game yet to identify any proper presence outside. They see these smokes, they hear the util, but they don't have enough really to go off on. It will cause a rotation though from Hardzao, as MIBR just have those 4 players down, and Nyx hasn't died first.
It's the little things, although there's still time. There's still time. Already made their way down very quickly, but Lucas is here ready and waiting. Sound of the one Molotov. Does he call for reinforcements? Not just yet. Sound of the window breaking. Surely that must be the call now to rotate in. Oh, Detroit. Beautifully done. Unfortunately, Lucas not able to get his. And with all of that util being dumped out, that's going to create tons of space for that bomb to be planted. 3 players remain for 2Game. Money, a serious problem because obviously they don't have much lost streak bonus left to rely on. But they're still going to try for this. They realize they don't have a lot of opportunities left. And well, with PKL hitting shots like that, maybe there's a chance. But it's Exit and Klim. And when Klim is still alive, there is certainly still an opportunity. The time is ticking away. They're on the bomb. They're trying to defuse, but unfortunately they get shut down. The kit is lost. The AWP is deleted. And MIBR go up to 8.
It's actually silly that we're seeing both Exit and Klim, the exact same pairing, always in these 2vx scenarios. 2v3, a 2v4, and then another 2v3. And what's crazy as well is that in these clutch rounds, it's actually mostly been Exit. Klim's obviously sitting 12-1, very pretty. Exit's been the guy who's been getting the majority of these really impactful kills in these clutch moments. He is just hitting so ridiculously hard right now. And 2Game right after that technical pause, deliberately... What's going on? Okay, sorry, that was a very crazy attempt at an opening kill from Hardzao. But as I was saying, 2Game straight back to losing ways. It's 8 rounds on the T-side for MIBR.
And MIBR, you can actually see that they're not really breaking a sweat here. Very quick to make adaptations, have a good read for the ebb and the flow and for what 2Game are trying to do. Oh, that's unfortunate. That should have been a kill. And unfortunately, they've allowed Klim to survive a little bit too long. That being said, PKL and Detroit, hand in hand, dealing death from above. 2Game have brought themselves up to a third round. We've gone a little bit back and forth, and so MIBR have no money into this round, which means 2Game might actually be able to snag themselves a fourth round at the end of the half. Now, it's not going to stand them in too much stead for that next half unless they mount one of the greatest T-sides imaginable against a formidable opponent. But, hey, an inch is as good as a mile, as they say. I don't know who they are. I don't know if they are correct, but I've heard them say it.
This is going to be a rather difficult time for 2Game. I came into today just hoping that I would give them the benefit of the doubt and they would be able to prove something. But so far, it's been very difficult for them. Oh my god, they might just keep things simple. They might just pop out A, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Flashbangs are raining in. The purchase is bad for MIBR, and unfortunately, it's not really working out. But Klim decides to change the fortunes for MIBR. A Tech 9 in his hand. Finally dropped, though. Detroit getting a bit of retribution and a highlight of his own, potentially. And Sani, though, for 9 rounds on the T side. A Deagle, not even head armor, spots out, knows where they both are, swinging, and it's a miss. 2Game, 4 rounds. It's not a lot, but it's something.
Certainly wasn't the half that 2Game were hoping for. Only 4 rounds on their CT side. Seems like devastation may yet be on the horizon for them. MIBR now seemingly smooth sailing for the next few rounds to carry them over that finish line. But we'll see if 2Game can make it somewhat contestable here. We've got 2 sets of dualies and, well, those are my favorite pistols. Hopefully they can get a little bit of value done here. We've got some heavy presence towards ramp, which I also quite like. They're backing away. Oh, okay. Looked like they were about to start backing away, but no, they've held the line. Jesus, Clem. You can't do this 2 maps in a row. Okay, this time it was only a 3K, but that's literally how he kicked off Train as well.
Yeah, CT side, 4 kills. He's actually got a kill or a multi-kill in every single pistol round. Actually, he might have only got 1 on the Train T side. Only 1 kill? Who does he think he is? This is the Klim show, and we're just living in it. If there was ever any possibility of a comeback for 2Game, and okay, they win the last few rounds of the first half, maybe they win the pistol round in the second half. Boom, there's a conversation. Maybe it's a little bit ludicrous, but there's one. Unfortunately, this is going to be double digits for MIBR. It's going to be, I assume, a very easily ended off game unless they do something stupid that will... Like, unless they prolong it by doing something a little bit silly themselves, you know?
Yeah. Do a little bit of sandbagging. These things do happen from time to time, but not in that round. 10 digits now. The 5-round run that they needed has whittled away down to 3, but it is a gun round, and I keep trying to find these handholds on the mountain that 2Game have to climb, but unfortunately it does seem to be a relatively smooth cliff face. Not able to find any sort of a footing. But we'll see. We'll see how this round goes. This could be instrumental for them. It's going to be an important one. And if they can find something here, maybe we can find some momentum, build that up. So for now, smokes towards outside. As they gather themselves a bit of space to play with. I love that we don't even wait for the smokes, bro. Just run straight past. They'll never know I'm here. Well, Clem knows. And he is waiting. No, you can't solo peek Clem twice, dude. Well, that could very well be round, unfortunately. Maybe if they can get another kill here. If they can get a kill here. Maybe give themselves a little bit more staying power, a little bit more room to breathe. And Sonny has spotted one. He'll be able to calm that across. Nope. Hardzow is out. And that is more than likely the end of the round. The bomb's going to make its way down towards B, but it is all alone. And has to contend with Klim still, who, yes, very low HP, but... I mean, it's Klim.
Oh, and Sani's also spotted out PKL outside. So even if maybe that bomb does get planted, it's most likely going to be a 5 versus 1 on the side. I don't think Klim's going to get cleared either, and he doesn't. Klim not going to get cleared. That's a mouthful, and that's a lot of tongue twister. But PKL, unfortunately, even though he's the brains of the operation, I don't think there's anything anyone can do right here. And he needs to make sure he survives. Oh, exit's going to get flashed in. Oh, it's just so... Oh, he dies after time as well. It's just so rough. And this is just brutality.
Oh, that's the really unfair part. Klim is just unreasonable. 22 and 3. Might actually do better on this map than he did on Train somehow.
He'd have to end it very, very well.
I believe. I have faith. 2 rounds left, 2 4Ks. Easy. Easy for Klim. It's a Tech 9 round now. We're too slow. Util has been burnt. No follow-up. And unfortunately, that's going to dwindle any real chances they had for this one. First two slip through. Nyx is only good for the first before he's traded, but Klim is waiting for that more aggressive push. The rest of the two-game squad make their way down towards that B site. They'll be able to get this bomb planted, so that's at least a bit of cash into the next round. They've recovered one of the AKs, so they've got a little bit of extra firepower. How much more can we do here? Can we make this a little bit more contestable? Ooh, trying to shoot those clay pigeons, but the pigeons will not be deterred. Insani now, ooh, getting up close and personal. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Lucas is taken out as well. 2 players remaining. The bomb continues to tick down. We've got kits on all available players.
Oh, loads of time
All they have
left.
to do is get onto position. And yes, there we go. Perfectly timed. Perfectly executed. 12 rounds for MIBR.
Got a little bit scared. That felt almost like too perfectly executed. They really they got the times exactly correct. They were like, okay, we have 7 seconds left. Now we get on the bomb. But it's just misery for 2-game. They might get close, but it's no cigar. Bomb plant, though, does mean they have a full purchase at least. It would take 8 rounds in a row for them to force it to overtime. And then there's also another map to be played on top of that. So it's a long way for 2-game that I think, unfortunately, they might just not have it up their sleeves. Can they make this look a little bit contestable and save some face, as they've only got 5 rounds so far across the series? And it looks like the opening kill is just going to be delivered to Asani, wrapped up with a nice little bow on it.
I want to believe, man. I really do. These games have been pretty one-sided towards the latter end of this bracket. That's never a pleasant experience. See if maybe we can get a kill onto Nyx. Oh, Lord. 2 HP and a dream. A little bit of util to come through there. Doesn't get as much value as they would have wanted. There's going to be the cleanup. 2 players remaining. Insani with a 6-shot straight to the dome. Follows it up with a second. And there you have it, folks. A 13-4 victory here for MIBR. And it wasn't even close. Not even contested. And while that is devastating for 2-game, it says a lot about this MIBR squad and the potential for growth that they have going forward. And go forward they shall. They'll be waiting in the wings in that grand final spot for whoever wins out the match tomorrow. They have at the very least secured themselves a top 2 finishing and are 1 step closer to qualifying for the regional final.
It's actually crazy that MIBR maybe have to go through the regional finals. I would have actually just assumed that they'd be a sure foot in as a team over the last year to qualify straight to a Pro League. But to be honest, I see them in this format, one way or another, getting to Pro League. And they've got a really good opportunity in this cup. But what's also so amusing is that they're doing so well right now. They're through to the grand